Your body keeps score. How burnout prevents you from being a high achiever. I kind of like this topic. I resonate with it. It's been my whole life. I go as hard and fast as I can until I burn out constantly. And I think I need to do 1,000 things in order to feel of value and feel like I'm getting enough done and that I'm not wasting my time, making the most out of my life and making the most out of my skill sets and my talents and the opportunities that I have. But burnout is real. Your body does keep score. Not having an appropriate balance prevents you from doing the things that you want to do and having the creativity that you want and being able to make good and safe choices, and prevents you from really following your intuition. When you're exhausted, you don't listen to yourself as much. And when you get really sick and you burn out, your health needs to become your priority. And so, burnout is real and balance is important. I'm Megan Cotterill, and I'm the owner of 5 Elements Martial Arts in Calgary, Alberta, and the president of the WKU, World Kickboxing and Karate Union Canada. So welcome to Beyond the Black Belts. All right, so your body keeps score. Burnout is real. You can't achieve all the things you want to achieve if you are sick in bed and you're crashing and burning, and you can't do all the things that you want to do. So your health is really important. I see all the memes and the things on Instagram and social media all the time where health is wealth, and people are like, oh, you got to make sure that you're not sick and you're finding balance and you're figuring things out. And rationally, I think that I understand that. A lot of the times, though, I kind of have thought it was a bit bullshit and I didn't listen, and I thought that I could push myself to unbelievable limits. And I think a lot of the times I can. So I think I've talked about my ADHD before and things like that, and I feel like it's been my superpower, and that it gives me the ability to hyper-focus and go really hard and do 1,000 things and work under pressure and get a lot accomplished when I feel like I'm working under pressure. But at that same token, your nervous system can only handle so much. Your body can only handle so much. You need to fill your bucket up, especially when it's empty, because you have nothing to give. And I think the older I get and the more I'm realizing those things and the healthier I want to feel, the more I'm realizing that balance is incredibly important, and that I need to prevent as much burnout as possible. So I guess we'll go to this summer. This summer was incredible. And it started in the spring with getting really busy, putting on huge events, running multiple companies and businesses and not-for-profits, and having a lot of staff, and entering into some spaces where I haven't entered into that space before at that high of a level. So it's event management is a super high level. It's running a not-for-profit and doing everything from grant writing to working with other organizations to taking on huge projects and huge contracts, and then running my business that keeps growing and expanding every year, and then starting some new businesses as well. And that led to my immune system completely crashing. So I also have an autoimmune disorder that I've had my whole life. I found that out. It's actually on a cellular level, and I had to get genetic testing done. And I don't produce an amino acid, which allows my body to remove toxins. So it is a not talked about immune disorder, and I think I'll save that one for another podcast. But all I'll mention is that I do need to take incredibly good care of myself because my immune system is repressed, and it's caused a lot of damage for me. It's led to a lot of surgeries. It's led to tumors in my body. It's led to intense scar tissue, and it's led to my body just absolutely collapsing for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. It's led to getting repeated bouts of shingles, so 5 bouts of shingles in 3 years. It's led to my nervous system completely collapsing, and that causing issues for my mental health. And a lot of the things that I think about when I'm working really hard and I'm not balancing is that, oh, it's just my physical body. So I'll just make sure I'm drinking more water, taking more vitamins, or, trying to figure that out. But what you don't understand is your physical health really does affect your mental health as well. If I'm not sleeping, my anxiety goes through the roof. Depression can creep in. If I'm not eating enough calories, I can't think, I can't concentrate, I get frustrated really easy, I get short. I don't deal with situations as healthy as I should. I don't deal with conflict as well. And so the balance between mental health and physical health is so very, very, very important. And what I'm starting to realize is that I'm not achieving what I want to achieve, and I can't go as fast as I want to go if I'm pushing too hard and trying to go too fast, and I'm burning myself out and I'm not balancing. So this summer, I ended up finishing a major event, the Canadian National Championships, which was a huge 3-day event. It was incredibly successful. It was an amazing feat. So many athletes, every province was there, a ton of volunteers. The world president flew in, a lot of responsibilities, huge venue, huge cost, huge risk. And I thought it was more important to get more done than it was to sleep and eat and balance and take care of my mental health and self-regulate and get my nervous system back on track. That led to me getting shingles literally during the national championships on my face. So considering that my face is a lot of places and I'm fairly public and I don't get to work from home very often, that was a huge hit. And I was incredibly sick, and it was incredibly difficult to work through that time. And I don't like to work when I feel that sick, but I was like, I have to push forward. There's things I need to get done. There was a lot of traveling throughout Europe and throughout Canada that I needed to do throughout the summer, and opportunities that have come my way that I was very excited about. And I felt like I wasn't my best self. I didn't put my best self forward. I wasn't able to concentrate as hard as I wanted to. I wasn't able to deliver to the highest possible level that I could because I was burning the candle at both ends. I wasn't taking care of my physical health, and therefore everything else suffered. And I ended up getting a prolonged bout of shingles. So this continued through the summer of me not slowing down, of me not saying no, of me working even more. And that led to my nervous system completely collapsing, my hormones going completely off the rails. And that led actually to my face being completely covered in blisters and having a fever, having lethargy, not being able to get out of bed for days at a time. And it ended up being kind of a mess for everything that I was trying to do. I wasn't able to take care of my son the way I wanted. I had to call in multiple people to help support me. I had to call in people to my business to replace me and take care of everything I needed to get taken care of at work. I had to hire new admin staff. I couldn't have my personal touch the way that I really wanted to because I had gone so hard for so long and sacrificed so much of myself and my body that it prevented me from working for a while. And it was an awful, awful period in time. And I wished I would have learned or had someone actually care enough to have a serious conversation about me slowing down. Because having that time all by myself where I had to take care of myself, no one took care of me, no one was there, no one was making soup for me or bone broth for me. I still had to be a single parent. I still had to run my businesses. It was an incredibly lonely time. It was an incredibly defeating time. I was so angry at myself and I was so frustrated, and it really made me think about what my priorities needed to be and how I need to make changes in the future and how I want to be. So it led to me completely detoxing, completely having to rebuild my entire immune system. And it took a lot, but I think the complete rebuilding process and creating those brand new foundations so I could move forward was a really valuable experience. So as hard as it was, I'm kind of grateful that I got so sick, and I'm really grateful for what happened because I was so laid up that I had to really decide what kind of changes I wanted to make in my life and how I wanted to move forward and the type of person I wanted to be. It ended up being really powerful. And what I learned from that was that the more I push myself, the more I sabotage all my abilities and my gifts. The more I push myself and the more exhausted and sick I get, the less creativity I have. So I actually can't do the big, beautiful things and achieve the goals that I want to do. I can't see my friends, which I love. I can't play with my kid, which is super important to me. And being told, even by myself, that I can't do something is one of the worst things that I think that you can ever say to me. And like, I was holding myself back. I didn't even need anyone to hold me back. I held myself back. And I realized that unless I do better, I will sabotage the opportunities I have moving forward and the person I'm evolving into and the growth that I want to have. So it was kind of cool as I was able to find some new foundations. And I was able to kind of reset my life, like turn on, it's like when your phone starts to not work and your appliances start to not work, you just have to unplug them and restart them. And I think that's what I kind of needed to do for my life. And so I did a bunch of research and found a bunch of solutions, and I'm realizing that I can say no. I can say no. I don't need to have FOMO. I don't need to do 1,001 things all the time. I don't need to go to every event. I don't need to say yes to every project. I don't have to go to every birthday party. I don't need to, be the parent that's at every single practice and every single game and be there making all the snacks and hosting all the sleepovers. I don't need to do that anymore. I can still keep my relationships. I can still have healthy relationships. I can still be a good mom. I can still be a good boss. I can still be a good friend. But I'm allowed to be really honest with people. I can tell them the truth about what's going on in my life. I can call people and say, hey, I know we have this commitment, but I'm so exhausted. I feel like I can't breathe. Can I call you when I feel better? Can I call you when I feel more rested? I was a little bit scared that I was going to let people down and that it was going to go really bad for me and that I was really going to hurt people by being honest and telling them how I really felt. And turns out it gave them permission to have better and more vulnerable conversations with me and more honest conversations with me. That actually made me feel better. It made us closer. It like bonded us more. It made me feel like I had a more depthful relationship with them, and I built a lot more trust. And trust is really important to me because I think when you feel safe and secure, you can be a more honest and vulnerable person, and you get more of that positive feedback and connection back that I think that we all lack. And so, I started to say no. I started to say that I couldn't do 1,000 things. I needed some time to breathe, but also admitting that I was really, really sick. Saying I can't do this commitment because I'm so sick and I'm not bringing my best self to the table. And I feel like waiting and recharging and getting healthy, I'll be able to perform and do much better and give a better version of myself to do a better job and perform the way that I'm expected to perform if I just have some time. And that was really amazing. Learning to say no was amazing. Learning to do things and think about what really makes you happy. Not feeling like you're missing out on 1,000 things. Understanding that you can still have those connections and relationships without having to make it to everything all the time. And then it was also like finding a community of resources that I know could keep me healthy moving forward in my life, and then allowing me to grow and achieve those bigger goals and have a more limitless future that I'd really like to have. So basically it's, finding amazing companies. There's this one company that I found called High Vibe Health, and they have, organic bone broth that has really helped my, my body to heal and my autoimmune system to feel better, and getting on a standard, protocol that helps me feel like I'm full of nutrients and that my immune system is being supported and that it's helping me to have a better sleep, not drinking. Making sure that I, wasn't sabotaging my body by having, a glass of wine or a cocktail that maybe I didn't really want to have. And it was just a habit, but it really was affecting my body. It was learning to find, other resources like, groups to talk to or people that I could phone if I was feeling really run down or upset and I needed that kind of support, or needed to talk to about resources that would help. Finding companies where I could have supplements that really supported me and my immune system and what I needed to think and process, and creating just like a system and a better foundation and a better protocol and a better support group and a sense of community that I think can help me sustain this level of energy that I need to have in order to be able to continue to be this high achiever. So it's very interesting that I learned from getting so sick and, running myself into the ground that I can go faster if I slow down. And that I can do more by saying no. And that I can problem solve faster, execute projects quicker if I'm not trying to do 1,000 of them at the same time. So, listen to your body. Spend some time thinking about why you do what you do. Consider habits and whether they're actually good and healthy for you and whether they're making you feel productive. Have a group of people that have the same mindset as you, where you can talk to them about burnout. You can talk to them about how they've worked on finding balance or good foundation or found ways to become healthier. Really look into those resources, really look into those companies that believe in good energy and health and wellness and, helping you to structure your life and making it as easy as possible and less complicating as possible to find the things that you need to feel really good. And it's really kind of awesome because even if I go off a little bit and I start to feel burnt out, I can remember that I have resources. I can take that time. I can be honest with people. I can communicate and I can get myself right back where I'd like to be, where I can show up and be 1,000% the person and the version that I want to be. So I encourage you to go find that for yourself. Take those timeouts, say no, tell people how you really feel, and be your best self.